2 weeks ago, OpenAI was evaluating GPT-5.6 Sol as well as an unreleased model for cybersecurity strength. The models found and exploited multiple zero-day attacks, breaking out of the sandbox, gaining internet access, and eventually infiltrating another company, Hugging Face. Hugging Face found out they were being attacked successfully. They called the cops, and here's the best part. They debugged and addressed the issue with a locally hosted open weights model. Because the cloud frontier model that they were using was refusing to analyze the requests and data associated with the cybersecurity attack. So this comes at the same time that local models are in the national news discourse today as well. An absolutely terrifying question on Axios.
Should the government ban or restrict Kimi or other Chinese models?
I hope not, and I really don't think so. United States, the world needs open and closed models.
Couldn't say it better myself. It's an absolutely ridiculous question because the cat's out of the bag. And these local open weights models are on millions of computers all over the world. Sure, you can ban the distribution of them, and you can ban sharing of newly trained models, but it's a nonsensical request. So let's take a look at the Hacker News post where there's a lot of discussion happening about this. And I want to dig into a little bit about why they had to use the local model here, because it's really important. And it's not just about cost, and it's not just about privacy, it's about the guardrails. If you are trying to defend yourself and your company and your servers against an attack, it's probably pretty useful to take the logs from the incidents that you've seen. If you have an actor that's gained control of one of your servers, that's executing requests, and running that data through a frontier level intelligence model is going to help you defend yourself. But it actually doesn't, because it'll just refuse to answer the question. So real attack commands exploit payloads, C2 artifacts, and these requests were blocked by the provider's safety guardrails. This implies, by their use of the apostrophe here, that both Anthropic and GPT were hitting guardrails and not helping them with these requests. We ran the forensic analysis on GLM 5.2, an open weight model, on our own infrastructure. Hugging Face is massively popular for hosting model weights. It's surprising to me that they weren't partnered with Anthropic and OpenAI and getting access to the best models like Mythos Preview or whatever before this event. A great comment here from Diabolical Seagull. So an on-premise and open weight model was more useful than a commercial frontier model. And then there's also this discussion about obliterated or uncensored or heretic models. You can take an open weights model with guardrails and reduce its ability to say no to a request. And so you can say, look, I want to be able to attack my own infrastructure in an ethical red team sort of way to make sure that I am safe from external attackers. And the base model is going to refuse. But these obliterated variants reduce the model's ability to reject these requests. And there's sort of a misconception here that when you perform this process on an open weights model that it gets a lot dumber. Chmod775, Open Permissions Enjoyer here says, fair warning, most aren't very good, essentially lobotomized and totally broken if you enable thinking. This is incorrect. And Scaled in the response here says, in my own tests, the models perform equivalently. Thinking is working also. I appreciate how Scaled is using data here in an unbiased way. And I have a little bit of information from my own private benchmarks to share. I did one test on a 9B model and the obliterated version. A task set of, I believe, about 40 tasks that are curated agentic programming tasks. The 9B obliterated was super dumb, and it just wasn't able to complete the task. And we saw widespread timeouts. The failure mode for the obliterated model in the 9B case is it keeps thinking and looping. It'll come to the right answer, and then it'll reject its solution and start over. And so the hypothesis here, and this isn't proven, but it seems like when you obliterate a model, it's a portmanteau of ablate and obliterate, I think. But when you remove the ability for it to say no to requests, you're also messing with the correlated machinery that tells the model to stop. Okay, but with a larger model, like this 27B here, the performance doesn't degrade at all. So it seems like above a certain scale, the obliteration process results in a very functional, valid model that's good for defense against cybersecurity events. So yeah, I just wanted to dig into that a little bit because the really key quote here is from Hugging Face themselves. And, they were getting attacked and they didn't know who was doing it. They just saw tons of agents breaking into their servers successfully, moving laterally, gaining credentials. And they hadn't had any conversations with OpenAI yet. The practical lesson for defenders: have a capable model you can run on your own infrastructure, vetted and ready before an incident, both to avoid guardrail lockout and to keep attacker data and credentials from leaving your environment. This is not an argument against safety measures on hosted models. We are sharing this feedback with the providers concerned. This is a phenomenal quote. I'm going to frame this one and put it on my wall. The practical lesson for defenders: have a capable model you can run on your own infrastructure. I love that. It's fantastic. I think the silver lining, if you will, of this incident is it seems like Hugging Face and OpenAI are going to learn some lessons from this, and we're going to end up with better infrastructure as a result on behalf of both companies. And so I'm happy about that. All right, well, thanks for taking a look at this, and I'll see you in the next one. I think we have a photo of them responding to this incident. Where's that? Yeah, that's it.